Hello guys, and welcome to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. And it's all about single player. Single player was the big announcement for me. I love single player games, and now the fact we have a Star Wars single player canon story in Star Wars Battlefront is amazing, and I cannot wait for it. So let's start with the developer behind the game and single player. It's called Motive, a brand new developer by EA, and ahead of it is Jade Raymond. The developer is fully focused around story, action, and adventure, and obviously that is a perfect tie-in to Star Wars and Battlefront. So where does this story take place in the Star Wars universe? So after the Return of the Jedi, we see the second Death Star blow up on Endor. It blows up. The Imperials are just utterly confused. Like, what just happened? The Emperor's dead. What do we do? So there's a 30-year period between the Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens, and we see the Imperial Empire turn into the First Order, as well as what happens with Kylo Ren perhaps, Luke Skywalker, and all the backstory between that. 30-year period, 3 decades between 2 films. That's a big period to cover. So the main character of the game is called Iden Verso. She's a female Inferno Squad member. This is like a commando unit, the most superior unit in the Empire. The Inferno Squad is very good at flying, ground combat, sabotage, and spying. The ultimate commando units. They are so well trained, well respected, and we finally get to see the face behind those masks. Those stormtroopers, those Inferno Squad members, they're real humans, they're people. They have feelings too, apparently. So a book got announced in February called Inferno Squad. Obviously that now links, we now know, it's been officially announced. They both link together. So it's now called Star Wars Battlefront 2 Inferno Squad. So that's what it's actually called now. Comes out in July, so obviously before the game releases. And apparently the Inferno Squad was formed after Rogue One. The embarrassing events on Scarif, the Imperial Empire was not happy. So they made this Inferno Squad well-trained stormtroopers to kick butt. So apparently this book goes through how they met, their first thoughts about each other, their first operations, and obviously leads into Battlefront 2. Also, we have a brand new planet for Star Wars. It's called Vardos. This is where Iden Verso is actually brought up, and her father, the Admiral Verso, basically just signed the planet over to the Imperials. No fighting, nothing at all. Just signed it over to the Imperials. It's a fully fledged Imperial planet. So this brand new planet is announced as a sort of utopia planet for the Imperials. It's almost perfect. It's pristine. It's wonderful. It's a great, perfect planet. I did mention this droid in my breakdown trailer. I saw it pop out of the backpack and it looked very, very cool. I speculated it might be some sort of, I guess, sort of intel droid or something. It's basically a sidekick. So it's a BB-8 unit, sort of R2 unit, so it beeps. Beep, 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 you know, a typical R2 BB-8 sound. So you can interact with Iden, and I guess there's some sort of comedic value there as well. And it can actually stun enemies, so it's got different abilities as well in single player. But it's like a sort of companion, I guess. It's a sidekick. Also in the game, of course, Iden is the main character in the game, but you do get to play with Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren in single player. So I'm hoping there's some sort of little bit of backstory there to what actually happened between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren. Because this game does come out in November. It comes out before the brand new film, Episode 8. So perhaps to get a little bit more backstory. I don't know. Maybe. Also in a screenshot of Luke Skywalker, you can see an Inferno Squad member. I believe it is Iden behind Luke Skywalker. Obviously he does escape, but still. That confrontation will also be in the game. We may turn to Luke Skywalker after that as he escapes. But still, it's good to see those sort of 2 point of views. Obviously Luke Skywalker's been hunted down. They want revenge on what happened to the Emperor. Also in the trailer we get to look at these. These are Sentinel humanoids. They come out once the Emperor is dead, and they announce his orders. And these droids will announce Operation Cinder. So this actually takes place already in the canon of Star Wars. They go to Naboo, set up satellites, and cause climate disruption. So the Imperial Empire is very much damaged. The Emperor's dead, but they're not gone yet. They're going to fight back. And they spend this 30 years slowly evolving into the First Order. I'm hoping this game does develop that story a little bit more as well. So we get to find out what actually happens in those 30 years. The story could also touch on Luke and Kylo Ren, obviously Rey as well, and how that story progresses. I can't imagine it touched on it too much. Obviously the main Star Wars universe is the episodes, the main films coming out. But it may touch on it a little bit. We may get a tiny little bit more backstory. I don't know. Also, this will be the biggest Battlefront so far. Lots of ways to approach combat. There's been mention of this droid stunning abilities, so you can do it as like a distraction or just stun them, be stealthy. Obviously, the Inferno Squad is well trained, but they're not Jedi. They can't just get their saber out and just start cutting people up. But there's always two sides to every story, and we never get to see the Imperial Empire, the people behind the mask. And now we can finally see that, their story and what they believe in. It'd be really cool to get a little bit of Iden's sort of upbringing as well, and perhaps the father, the Admiral, being like an Imperial child. How does that feel? How different is it to the Rebels? Because we saw a very, especially in the brand new Rogue One film, the Rebels make some questionable decisions. They're not the good guys all the time. They do questionable stuff. I think Battlefront will still be mainly multiplayer, but single player is definitely going to be interesting. Getting a proper canon story into the game, covering those 30 years, the evolution of the Imperial Empire to the First Order, Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker missions as well. There's a lot of exciting stuff there. I predict probably, I guess, like 5 to 6 hour sort of single player campaign and lots of multiplayer. They're going to cover all the eras, clones, droids, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. They're going to cover everything, every vehicle you can think of, lots of planets, lots of different maps. Multiplayer is going to be epic, but so should single player. Fingers crossed. Thank you guys for watching though. Leave your comments below. Are you guys excited for single player? Did I miss anything out? Let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.